Hi everyone, my name is Tal Navarro. I'm very excited that you guys have joined us to the first Q&A with the Mayor, Dr. Julian Gold. How are you, Julian?
I'm great. How are you tonight?
I'm wonderful. I'm very excited to be here with you.
Absolutely. This is historic. It's the first time we've done any kind of live streaming, social media interaction with the community, and so this is really very exciting.
This is very exciting. Also, I can tell you that people are very excited to have a mayor like you that is so involved with the community. It's something that is really nice to have in this city.
Well, thank you, and we really do enjoy that interaction with the community. It's really why we do this, so that's what makes it worthwhile.
Amazing, amazing to hear.
Thank you.
So, okay, let's jump to the first question. People have submitted some questions and we're going to answer them right now. So the first one is submitted by Barbara Gray. I hope you hear us. Dear Mr. Mayor, I'm very happy that you decided that the City Council has made to ban electric scooters from the Beverly Hills streets. Saying that, do you really think that 6 months period will solve the problem? Are there any future plans about regulations related to those scooters after the 6 months period will pass?
Well, that's a great question. We actually banned the scooters because we had real concerns about public safety. The scooters were being used on sidewalks. They were being used by people who didn't wear helmets. And oftentimes you saw children with earbuds in who were just racing down the streets. We felt that it was not safe for the riders and it wasn't safe for the pedestrians. Apart from that, these things just appeared. The companies that created them didn't even tell us they were coming. And then all of a sudden one day they were here, and there were thousands of them. There were really tons of them. Beyond that, their model allows for the scooters to be left anywhere. And so we found them strewn on the sidewalks. They were stacked, they were thrown on people's lawns, and they really did become a nuisance. So between the public safety issues and the nuisance issues, this is something that the council really felt that it had to deal with in a definitive way. And that was the reason that we banned the scooters. The idea is that if you're caught without a helmet, the state law, this is even city law, state law says that you have to wear a helmet and you cannot ride on the sidewalk. And if you do, you're subject to a ticket. And beyond that, the city's ordinance now says that if you're caught on one of these things, we will confiscate it. Now, we really do believe that there is a future in this sort of mobility. We really think that the ability to get around without cars is a good thing, and without gasoline, and we're certainly a green city, and we would like to do everything we can to support that. However, you cannot do it without rules and regulations. It's not the Wild West. You don't make it up as you go. And you certainly cannot do it in a way that jeopardizes public safety. So the council's goal really is to be able to sit down with the manufacturers, the companies that provide these scooters, these shared mobility devices, to sit down with them and come up with a set of rules that actually make sense, that allows people to use them in a rational way, but in a way that protects the public health. So that is hopefully a beginning process. We've heard a little bit from these companies that they want to talk to us. We really think that there's an opportunity to make this make sense. 6 months, if we get it done in less than 6 months, we'll change the law and you'll be able to use them. And if it takes longer than 6 months, we'll take as long as it takes to get the rules right so that everybody stays safe, but everybody can use them.
Great, I already feel safer in Beverly Hills streets. So let's jump into the next question. We have a question coming from George Davis, who wrote us. Dear Mayor, I live in Beverly Hills for more than 45 years now. I see how it develops and grows in so many wonderful ways. I was curious to hear more from you about how is the city doing financially and what are the future plans for the city?
Well, thank you. The city is actually doing really well. Last year, we had a surplus in our budget, something that many cities don't. It allowed us to fund things. Some of them were charity kinds of things, the community grants that we gave, and others were city services that we really wanted but weren't sure the year before we were going to be able to afford. So when we end a year with a surplus, it's just a good thing because we can really augment services that we want. Last year, we increased the number of police in our city. We increased the work that they do. They created a crime impact task force, and that was a good thing. We actually gave more money through these community block grants than we had in years past. We were able to add more of the inspectors so that housing can get done faster, because now we have more inspectors to do this. We're able to commit money to Greystone Mansion, where we are in the process of the constant process of renovating this cherished piece of Beverly Hills. But it needs some love. And so with some of the surplus money, we're able to begin to restore it to the grandeur that it had before. So the city is doing really well. We don't want to rest on our laurels. We realize that cities are living beings and that we need to be relevant in this world, and we need to create opportunities for people to be here. We want to attract not only the international tourist, but we want to be a place that people who surround us, locales that surround us, want to be here. And we want to be a place especially that our residents love. So our residents want to come and spend time, walk on our streets, eat in our restaurants, and shop in our stores. And if we can accomplish that, if we can meet the mark and touch all of those populations, then we'll be successful. And I think we can. We have a lot of programs in place to try and do that. And I expect that year over year, it's going to be even a greater year.
Okay, you want to share a little bit about one of those programs that you have?
Sure.
Or yes.
Right now, we're in the middle of Bold.
Okay.
The Bold summer program.
Perfect. Tell us a little bit about it.
So the Bold program initially was businesses open late days. And the idea is, Beverly Hills traditionally closed up at 6 o'clock at night. And, we don't believe that anymore. We're younger, we're vibrant, and we think that we want to be outdoors. We have beautiful weather, certainly in the summertime. And why would we not want to be on our streets and doing things? And so, starting last year, we worked with our merchants to stay open later. And in order to encourage people to be here, we have created all kinds of street events. So every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night for the month of August, we have different events. And each of these events is really designed so that you can come on out, you can bring the family, you can walk around, you'll have some fun. We've had some amazing artists. Alexa Mead was here.
Painting on bodies.
Yeah,
and everything.
she was the one who did that.
Amazing.
It wasn't amazing.
Amazing.
I had never seen that before.
You should follow him on Instagram. There's many of updates about those events. Super beautiful.
Yeah, and this is different. It's not only fun, but it's different. Something you're not going to see every place.
Right.
And so we started this in order to encourage people to come, recognizing that that's where business comes from. That we have to create things that people want to see, and entertain people and make them feel good, and that's really what we're about.
Amazing. I'm going to jump to the next question.
Of course.
Well, the next question was actually about the Bold, which was great that you have just shared with us all the information about it. So thank you for that. And the next question comes from Carl, and it goes like this. Dr. Gold, now that you have taken the left turn pockets off of South Santa Monica between Wilshire and Beverly Drive to make room for on-street parking, the flow of traffic has become not only strong and hard, but also dangerous. People are opening their driver's side door into oncoming traffic, and it's accident waiting to happen. The question is there not a happy medium between merchant parking and the flow of traffic?
Well, thank you, Carl. That's a great question. So, before this all started, when we started the reconstruction of North Santa Monica Boulevard. And when we did that, we realized that we wanted traffic to flow through the city, but in reconstructing North Santa Monica Boulevard, it was going to have a significant traffic impact. So as part of that, the council agreed that we would remove the street parking on the south side, on South Santa Monica Boulevard. And that lasted for about a year and a half. Now we're almost done with North Santa Monica. And if you remember, South Santa Monica used to be very awkward. There was lanes that merged into each other, and there was parking on the side. And so the question was, is there a way that we can straighten this out, make it make sense, and still accommodate parking? In the first pass at this, we looked at parking only on one side of the street. And we realized that that had the potential, at least, to disadvantage the merchants on the other side of the street. So we engineered the street so that you could park on both sides, but it would have impacts in terms of the width of the lanes and left turn abilities and things like that. This is merely a test. We're really trying this out. We're not committed to it. The North Santa Monica Boulevard is almost completed. And we're going to look at what we've learned with Santa Monica, South Santa Monica, constructed as it is today. In point of fact, we have a study session on Tuesday, August 21st, where we will talk about this.
Is it open for public?
Absolutely. The public is more than welcome. In fact, Carl, if you're around, it would be worthwhile for you to come and express your opinion there. Or if you'd like, you send me an email and we can reflect that. It's jgold@beverlyhills.org, and we'll read your email into the record. But it's really an opportunity for us to get a report back from our traffic folks and to hear what the public thinks about this, and ultimately to make a decision about whether or not we want to continue it. If it's really something that people hate, then it's something that we're going to have to reconsider.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Carl. I hope it answers your question.
Send us an email. Let us know what you think. It'd be really helpful. We like to get mail, and it just informs our conversation.
Right.
So if you can't come,
absolutely,
write us an email.
Absolutely. Or even you can write in the Instagram direct message. If you're here on Instagram, then you might as well want to write it there. So whatever you feel like. It's 2018. We have so many social media channels. Everyone can write in different ways. Whatever he's comfortable with.
Whatever works for you.
Exactly. So my next question is from Carol. I am 35 years old and I've just got a job in Beverly Hills and found an amazing apartment not far from my work. I understand that there is a program for young people like me to be involved in the city. Could you tell a little bit more about that, please?
Great question. So 3 years ago, when I was mayor the first time, I created a committee that was really aimed at people of your age, people who are between 25 and 45. And the goal was to actually give that community a voice in Beverly Hills. At the time, there were probably about a dozen people. Today, there are probably over 100 on the list and 30 or 40 who show up regularly. It's our next generation, our next Beverly Hills committee, our Next Gen committee. And it's a committee that has begun to develop ideas about what this city should look like in order to support people in that age range, between 25 and 45. There are a couple of elements here. One is, what part of Beverly Hills is missing for you? What would it take? We talked before about keeping the city vibrant, about keeping businesses going. And a piece of this is really, we want to appeal not only to older folks or folks with kids, but we really want to appeal to the younger generation too. And part of what we didn't know is what was missing. What could we do better? And so part of the mission of this committee is to help inform the city about what we can do in order to make their lives better, their working lives, their living lives, and their playing lives. In addition to that, it's an opportunity for the committee to inform itself about what's happening in the city. And over this last year or so, the committee members have sort of spread out into each of the major commissions and other major functions that the city has, and they are beginning to gather information to bring back to the committee as a whole, and where appropriate, to allow the committee to talk about and develop policy as it relates to how they feel, how the committee feels they want to interface with the city on various issues. Lastly, and as important as the others, it's also an opportunity for all of these committee members, all the active participants, to begin to understand how city works, how city government works. It's a different animal, and regardless of your type of business, if you've not been in government, government is just different. And this is an opportunity for young people to really begin to understand government, understand what makes it go, and at the same time to begin to get involved. Because clearly this is the next generation, and when guys like me aren't sitting here doing this, it's going to be this generation that takes over and becomes our leaders of the future. So it serves many, many purposes. It's open to everybody. We invite you. It's the last Tuesday of the month, 8 o'clock in the morning. Sorry about that. It's 8 o'clock in the morning for for an hour and a half, but you're more than invited. And actually very exciting, in a merger between the BOLD initiative, which we discussed a little bit ago, and the Next Beverly Committee, our Next Gen Committee, we're actually going to have this huge block party on South Beverly Drive. It's August 25th, Saturday night, August 25th.
Be there, be there.
Between 6 and 10. It's going to be amazing.
It's going to be amazing.
We're going to
so
have
many things are planned.
Wine and beer gardens, all kinds of entertainment, food trucks, all kinds of exotic food trucks. Our restaurants that are on Beverly, music
performers.
Yeah. Our restaurants are open, and by all means, there are activities for young families, families with kids. There are activities for the next generation, and there are families for older folks too, and activities for older folks also. And so it's a lot of fun. This is our third year. Our first year was fun. Our second year was even better. And I have no doubt that this third year...
I'm a witness.
Yeah, this third year is going to be... In fact, Tal here is part of our next generation. So, right? So,
yes, indeed.
And
very proud to be.
Well, and then teaching the teacher, right? Because she's taught me all about social media, which is how I got here in the first place.
Yeah.
So it's really, it's what it's all about. It's really what it's all about.
It's all about connections, and everyone is teaching everyone and learning from everyone. It's really amazing. And it's really amazing to see the mayor wakes up every last Tuesday of the month and comes and involved with the young generation to build the future of Beverly Hills. This is really remarkable.
Well, thank you. And so you're really invited, everybody out there and wants 25th. To participate, you know, come to the party.
Your calendar.
And if you want to be part of the Next Gen Committee, that invitation's open too.
By the way, I heard that you have been a judge in this Beverly Hills Pickle Fest that took place at the farmer's market. This was, I heard it was really hilarious, really fun, and I would love to hear more about that.
Well, you
now
know,
that's my question.
Okay. Well, you know, mayors do all kinds of things, right?
Okay.
We do things that are serious, like ordinances and taxes and all that kind of stuff. But we also do fun things in support of the community. And so our farmers market, which is an amazing farmers market, it's been there for 34 years. And when it started, it was only one of about 40. Now there are 100 and some odd farmers markets. It's a really fun place, and it's open Sunday mornings. So our farmers market does special events, and one of those special events is the Pickle Fest. So this is an opportunity for folks who like to pickle things. Mm-hmm. First we taste pickled pickles, but then we tasted pickled other things.
You have to taste all of them?
All of them.
Wow.
You don't eat the whole thing, because that's a lot of pickles.
Oh my God.
A lot of pickles.
I don't want to imagine that.
No, it was a lot of pickle. And so first we judged the best pickle, right? And traditional pickles, pretty much. And then all kinds of things. And so I was amazed. People pickle blueberries, and people pickled watermelon.
Is it tasty?
It's tasty.
You tell me after, out of the camera, not in recording.
It was a lot of fun. It's always fun to do. It's a feel-good event. The crowd loves it. There's a pickle throwing contest. You can win pickles. It's great. It's really, really fun.
Amazing.
Yeah, really fun.
Well, we kind of ran out of questions for today. It was really wonderful chatting with you, Mr. Mayor, and everyone is welcome to join the Facebook page and the Instagram for Mr. Julian Gold. Do you have anything else you want to add? Do you want to tell everyone something about your future plans, maybe a little bit?
Well, before we close.
Before we wrap up.
Yeah, exactly. Before we close, one of the things that we're doing that's really exciting is we've created a strategic planning committee. This is really similar to the concept with the next generation. It's about looking into the future and what should the commercial areas of the city look like. So the city has different commercial areas. We all know the Triangle, Rodeo Drive, but we have commercial areas on Robertson Boulevard and in the area on La Cienega, around what will be the subway portal there. And the real question is, what should we put there? Well, you know, the city is responsible for setting policy that allows for the development of different buildings and different businesses. And as we think about the future, the question is, what should that be? What should go there? And so we've created this committee to sit and begin to gather information about what the community wants. And not only what the community wants, but what the developers think is possible, and what the needs are and what our opportunities are in each of these different areas, so that the city can begin to develop a strategic plan for the growth of commerce in the city, and for perhaps some of the less commercial, the areas that need more help today. So that's very exciting. We've done it now for a couple of months.
Amazing.
We made some progress with it. I look forward to completing it sufficiently that we can report it back to the City Council. Ultimately, whatever we're going to do with this is going to require their approval. It's very much future focused. We really want Beverly Hills to be future focused. As wonderful as it is here today, and as great as the things that we have that surround us, you can always get better.
Right.
And as the times change, and as we look to the future, we should really begin to strategize for how we want that to be. And at the end of the day, if we can develop a good strategy, then we can all have a common vision, and that's something we can work towards. And so that's really my goal in doing this. It's very exciting, and I expect that it'll be very productive.
Dr. Gold, it's been a pleasure. We are really blessed to have a mayor like you. And I feel the future is bright, and thank you so much for being here today. Thank you all for joining us.
Thank you.
And stay tuned, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you
very much.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.